time. Takes it straight through the middle of Geordie Hunter. He started in a rush.
Henschel, the pass. Ripping it through the ring.
Incredible to see Keanu Pinder return for the Perth Wildcats tonight. He's big when he's big, Damon. It's exciting for them, isn't it?
When Keanu is up and about, he is one of the best players in this league by far. Keanu, before he got hurt, even going back to last season, he was in MVP conversations. He's got a motor that's up and down, high energy, high jumping. He has to get involved early, though, because sometimes if the game doesn't quite come to Keanu, he might get subbed out early. He hasn't been playing a lot of minutes this season, averaging around 22 minutes a game. I like to see those numbers increase, especially with Christian Doolittle being out. But there's no doubt about it. The Keanu Pinder, Bryce Cotton, pick and roll on the side is lethal.
They are going to be incredible tonight. But there is some huge news around the league, some that came out today from Tassie. And no one better to report it to us than Ariana Prather. Let's get down courtside to her today.
That's right. Big news from around the league. Starting off with the Jack Jumpers. They have decided to release their 6'3" wing Craig Sword. Now, this doesn't come as a huge surprise to anyone. Coach mentioned earlier on this season that he needed to see more out of him. He was only averaging just over 5 points, 2 boards this season, and they have decided to split ways. Now, rumor has it his replacement has already been named, and we will get that news soon. Next up for Melbourne United, huge signing in Dash Daniels, the 16-year-old Australian phenom. He had offers from high collegiate teams such as Louisville, Florida, LSU, and other NBL programs, and he decided to reject them all for Melbourne United. He is going to be an absolute superstar. He is a projected 2026 first-round NBA draft prospect. The NBL Next Stars are absolutely doing it. And just to read a quick quote from him and why he chose Melbourne, he said, I've grown up in the Australian program. I know the style of play and brand that Melbourne United brings. They're known for their defense, and I take pride in that. And they also like to get up and down the court, and that's what I like to do, guys.
Love your work, Ariana. We love what you're doing up there. Have a great game in Cairns. For you guys, I want to get to the coach's whiteboard. Damon, I want to start with you. Adam Ford, what's on it?
Find an excuse to win. This is the era where everybody, stay with me, Drury, everybody's making excuses on why they lose. The travel was too far. Players got hurt. The food in the hotel wasn't good enough. Always an excuse why you lose. You got to find an excuse now to win. Ooh. Make it happen. We're at home. We're sick of losing. We're not going to lose 12 games in a row. Let's get up and about, Drury. Come on.
Casey, what does really have on his?
40 delivers it like that. You've got me up and about. But for the Perth Wildcats, I think you've got to look at it. Don't be complacent. You're coming into a venue against a team that's lost 11 in a row. You think all we've got to do is show up. That can hurt you. Rebound the ball, because although they're not great on the rebounding percentages across the board, they are one of the better offensive rebounding teams, the Cairns Taipans. And of course, Milk Bryce Cotton. He's on a tear. It's like in a game, but now we've got a series of games. Just keep playing through him, and because it's been a very successful formula. Make it as much shots for him as you possibly can, and good things will happen for the Wildcats.
Casey, we heard from Damon about what Pinder brings to the lineup. What do you think that he's going to need to do tonight?
Well, I think with Pinder, it's just how his health is the first and foremost. I think Damon's point is absolutely spot on when he's out there. Get him going early, because, you know, when things aren't going his way, Johnny really early on in the season didn't play him a whole lot. So I think he needs to get it going. But in a pick and roll situation, he's one of the most lethal in the competition because of his athleticism. He's demonstrated that he can pick and pop as well. So that puts even more pressure on the defence in those on-ball situations. So he is a tough cover. But I think a lot of what Keanu Pinder does, it really depends on what's going on between his ears.
Well, we talk about Bryce Cotton. Does Keanu Pinder coming into the lineup hurt his scoring potential, or does it not have an impact, Damon?
I don't think it has an impact. We've seen Bryce go off for big numbers when they have everybody healthy, so it doesn't really matter. If anything, I think it helps Bryce to score more because now Keanu's going to take some of the pressure off. They're not going to be so quick to maybe double-team Bryce Cotton on certain ball screens because, like you said, Drury, when Keanu Pinder's going downhill, roll into the basket, he plays with a very violent intent. Yes. So I think this is going to really help Bryce.
Well, this is going to be one of the biggest games. Cairns, they're looking for a win. They have not had a win in 11 games. They're looking for their first one. Rob Edwards is going to need to have a huge one as well. Bryce Cotton, he's looking for his 4th 40-point game in a row. Don't go anywhere. Cairns Taipans and the Perth Wildcats up next. Round 12 continues with Cairns and Perth. The Wildcats, they travel to the Snake Pit where the Taipans have struggled to get a win since round 3. But it's all about one man on the other side. That is Bryce Cotton. In his last 3 performances, he's had 59, 40 and 49 points. He's been an absolute scoring machine, and that's why we've included him in our same game multi. We've got Perth to win, Bryce Cotton for 25 plus, which should be a lock, and we've included Taran Armstrong as well for 25 plus points. He's had 28 and 29 consecutively in his last 2 weeks. Let's get to Far North Queensland. Enjoy the hoops.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
Cairns Taipans looking to make it 4 on the trot. Perth Wildcats, well, they'll fancy themselves. They have a great record. Cotton doesn't take him long. Edwards puts the head down, uses that bulk. Nice Cotton. He's feeling good, Pete. He's feeling real good. Wardberg, backdoor cut for Edwards.
Rob Edwards and Bryce Cotton going at it. Oh, have a look at this.
Talking trash to Rob Edwards.
We can only get this on a 5-second violation.
He just has to inbound it. He just has to inbound it.
Wow.
Violation. They're within 1. And this gives the Taipans an opportunity. Surely not. It's going to be Edwards. Hold your breath.
Oh, wow.
And Perth get the job done in Cairns.
Joel, I think you've got some problems with the headphones, but with no problems going to be here in Cairns because this is going to be a beauty. It's the Perth Wildcats taking on the Cairns Taipans. We take a look at the ladder, Damon. The Perth Wildcats 9-8. I think a lot of people before the start of the season expected they'd be a little bit more than that. And the Cairns Taipans, despite their 3-12 record, they've been in games up to their eyeballs, but just haven't been able to close things out. So this is a tricky assignment here for the Perth Wildcats.
This is a classic trap game. You show up to Cairns, you think they're depleted, and all of a sudden you come out a little bit lax, and Cairns will shock you. They still got enough talent to win, and all they got to do is just figure out those little kinks down the stretch to close out games.
Hoping I've still got a job after all that magnificent work from you, Andrew Gaze. This man does magnificent work when he's at his best. Taran Armstrong for the Cairns Taipans, Damon. He is dynamic.
Taran Armstrong, 18 points a game, 4 assists. I like to round up, and 5 rebounds. He's playing great basketball. He's a future boomer guard. What he's trying to do right now is prove to the general managers in the National Basketball Association that you would be wise to pick me in the upcoming draft. His ball screen work is exquisite. This is what's really improved his game. His 3-ball shooting. He's now shooting, Drury, 42% from deep water, and he can obviously put the ball on the floor and get to the basket. The one thing I like to see Taran Armstrong do a little bit more of is just recognize the situation, what it calls for. He is, I think, one of those generational talents, an Australian guard, and his future could not be any brighter.
Yeah, you love what he brings to the table. For John Riley, of course, defense has been the challenge in the last little while. 9-8 on the season, the Perth Wildcats, as we saw right off the top. But he has the biggest weapon in the competition, Drew. He has Bryce Cotton, and there is no greater luxury.
It's and I think we've got to give John really a lot of credit for Bryce Cotton's explosion in the last 3 games of 40 plus, because he's put him in positions to do that. Now, we know last season, what he averaged over 38 minutes a game, so he plays a lot. But what he's done the last 3 games in particular, John Riley's put the ball in his hands. Once he got cooking, he's made sure that he's drawn up plays to keep him going. And when Bryce is attacking the rim and getting two-handed stuff, dunks off the O boards, then it's happy days. And you can see all the tricks in the bag. He's got it all. For a little fella, he can finish amongst the tall timber as good as most. And, of course, the three-point shot. And the three-point line, well, that was the center line, in fact, knocking it down. So he's a superstar of the competition.
So he's on the precipice of history. You can see there the list of players that have got the most straight games with 40 points in NBL history, David. They are both the AGs and the OGs, Andrew Gaze and Al Green.
Nice work, yeah, Drewy. Obviously, we all know his work. I was on the receiving end of some of those points. But yeah, he is going to be one of the greats, if not the greatest, when it's all said and done. But what Bryce is focusing on right now is getting his team as high up on the ladder as he can, because it's all about postseason basketball.
So ready to go in the Cairns Convention Centre just about. This Perth Wildcats team, they got all they could handle last time they were here. We'll take a look at our starting lineups for this one. Of course, Cairns, they've got healthy in the last little while. There you see their chosen 5, Armstrong, Edwards, Galloway, Bradshaw and Groves. So they've got back to something like full strength, what Adam Ford would have wanted over the last few weeks. The Perth Wildcats, of course, there is no Keanu Pinder in that starting lineup. He will suit up, though. There is no Christian Doolittle. So David Aquera gets the start again. Henschel, Almanza, Windler and Cotton, the 5 for John Riley. The question as we go into it, Damon and Gazy, that everyone around Australian basketball is asking is how many will Bryce have tonight?
Well, I think it's going to be a little more tougher for him tonight, because I expect that the Cairns Taipans, they're going to be double teaming him, trying to keep the ball out of his hands, make someone else score. He's going to score heavy, but can he get another 40? That's going to be a tough assignment.
He had 35 here earlier in the season. In his own words, it is his favourite away venue to play in across the competition. Oof. Here's Edwards with a tough move to start. He goes baseline and he's fouled. And Damon, you said on NBL Now on Friday that you thought the Snakes were a sneaky chance in this one.
They were. Now, I said that without realizing Sam Wardenberg would be out. I mean, that's a big out. That's 15.7 rebounds the Cairns Taipans are missing. But they're still dangerous, because teams, I don't know what it feels like to lose that many games. Actually, yes, I do. Lost 16 straight times with Crocs. But anyway, every game that they lose, they're closer to a win. They're not going to finish this season without beating somebody.
Take us in the mindset then. What does it feel like?
It feels like the world is against us. But you just got to give yourself a chance. And the other team is going to give you a chance at some point, and it's how they execute down the stretch.
And this guy here, Windler, he's starting to show some of his form as well, what he's capable of. If he gets going to the level where I think he can play, and then we see the first evidence of what they're going to do off that on-ball double team. But if Windler can get up to where we think he can, the level he can play at, then that's going to be a transformation for the Perth Wildcats.
Just 5 shots last time out. Beautiful feed from Edwards to find Bradshaw underneath.
Bryce Cotton went over and doubled Tanner Groves. Tanner Groves has got the young next star, Ethan Almanza on him. Wouldn't have thought Tanner Groves would have commanded a double, and that should have led to that offensive bucket. If Bryce misses his mid-ranger.
Around and out, not too many have missed in the last few weeks for Bryce Cotton. 47 of 72, he's 18 of 32 from downtown. Last 3 games, he has been off the court for a total of 5 minutes and 43 seconds. Just a phenomenal run. And in that time, he scored 148 points. 4 on the clock here for Armstrong across the lane. And he lost it out of bounds in the end.
Now, Drury, I would like to just ask you, how sick does Keanu Pinder have to be for David Aquera to start over him? I mean, I'm not in training.
Well, that's the thing. If he hasn't done the work off the floor when he's been out, that's probably the big issue. And Aquera goes up, and Groves says no sir. But yeah, I think they're just going to bring him back, and he's probably on some sort of minutes restriction as well, I suspect.
Oh, don't say those words around Damon Gazy. Oh, Almanza with a thunderous jam.
Well, Almanza, it just continues to grow. Each month of this season, he's got more and more points.
Edwards misses. Bradshaw the rebound. You know, he's so strong in that department. Groves from outside. The lumberjack knocks one down.
An unconventional score, but Tanner Groves can get it done. He just has to stay on the floor, gets himself into a little bit of foul trouble. But the guy that kept that possession alive is Pedro Bradshaw, and he's huge as we look at the Amy replay. Viva la España!
Might have been a few extra steps. Oh, that had a drive at the rim.
Aaron Armstrong, he picked the dribble up somewhere around Rockhampton.
It was definitely 3 steps, possibly 4.
Windler from outside.
That is a modern version of Chris Gent. Those NBL fans that
Thank you. Yes.
can't remember Chris Gent.
Nice move from Armstrong.
He doesn't get as many tech fouls as Chris Gent used to get, but a lefty.
Been a really positive start from the Cairns Taipans here on their home floor. Quera outside. We know they've lost 11 in the row. 4 of their past 5 losses have only come by single digits.
And like 40 said, it's between the ears. They know they're good enough to beat teams, but then something happens to them in the 4th quarter or late in games where their decision-making kind of goes out the window. And this is where I'm really leaning on my young point guard, Taron Armstrong, to really recognize situations.
Keanu Pinder about to check into the game. Armstrong just gets it in. Windler takes it away and puts it on a platter for Cotton. Had to deal with some traffic, did Bryce. It's been all green lights for him. He hasn't seen a lot of traffic jams in recent weeks. Locks up with Armstrong here. Jump ball call. Possession arrow. Will give it to Perth.
Drury, like you, they're gonna make Bryce Cotton get 20 assists tonight.
Yeah.
They're gonna double team. They're running everybody at him. They're gonna make him a passer. And they're gonna
as they should, David.
100%.
With those types of numbers that he's putting up, make someone else beat you, particularly when you've lost 11 in a row. You can't just go about it the same way and play people straight up. You've got to do things a little different, change things up.
Seems like the kind of back-to-the-wall challenge that Adam Ford would really relish as well. Potential with a smooth move across the lane. He's the type of coach that, you know, loves that nobody believes in us type mantra, gets his players up around that kind of thing, Damon.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff too. You want to win the game and nobody thought you could win except your family. It's KG. Kyron Galloway knocks one down.
Well, he's the one I think that needs to step up in the absence of Wardberg. His numbers across the season, 54% from the field. Mid-40s from threes. Some really good numbers. Hello.
Edwards all the way!
Wow. Rob Edwards has got the braids untucked, and he is a fullback coming downhill.
I'd say he'd be licking his lips playing this Perth Wildcats defense as Windler splashes one in at the other end. I use the term defense advisedly. Edwards. Almanza secures it.
We saw this last week with the Cairns Taipans. They are more than willing to come and play run-and-gun basketball. Now, usually when you don't have the same depth, you're going to slow it down, make it a half-court game, but he's just throwing caution to the wind and saying, if you're open, let that sucker fly.
They are doing that. 6 of 10 to start here, the Taipans. 4 of 10, the Wildcats. Joel Peterson, Andrew Gaze, Damon Lowry, and Ariana Prather with you. Second leg of a Saturday night doubleheader. Pinder puts his head down. He misses it at the rim. First game back in 4 for Keanu Pinder. Groves straight away.
Wow. Tanner Groves 2 for 2 from downtown.
It was a really good sign for him as well.
He gets himself in foul trouble and it limits his productivity. But when he's on the court, he can score from a variety of ways. He does all those little grimy things that Adam Ford likes as Almanza, who shows us his range.
I don't like that from Ethan Almanza. Just his 6th three-pointer of the season, getting 1 in every 3 to go.
That was a rare two-point field goal attempt. They had 11 field goal attempts prior to that last one, and 7 of them have come from the three-point line. So they made an early statement about how they want to play.
Here's our guy, Drury, just checked in.
Yeah.
Alex Higgins-Titcha. We don't have a nickname for him just yet. Averaging 5 points and 6 boards in only 14 minutes. and he's going to block somebody's shot tonight.
Well, he's the Energizer Bunny, too. Around the rim, on the glass, you've got to be really conscious of keeping him off the glass.
Armstrong, Edwards, Higgins, Stitcher, Groves and Bradshaw out there at the moment. Armstrong stepping back. Like the look of that from the young fella.
I said it before, but that is a good-looking shooting technique. And that'll hold him in good stead.
And Pinder reacquaints himself with the rim.
Well, that's another example of when you're going to hard show and you've got that roller coming out of it. It was the hockey assist to the high-low action. Good penalty for what the Cairns Taipans. You see Bryce coming off, they jump at him, and straight away that dive to the rim, easy too.
So an early start for the Cairns Taipans with some promise at the Tangerine timeout. 22-15, 3:43 remaining in the first term. Of course, big road stretch coming up for the Perth Wildcats. Ariana Prather caught up with Jesse Wagstaff to talk about that pre-game.
Yeah, look, it's kind of a staple of Perth. We don't get the arena for December, just for a little bit at least. So ever since I've been there, we've been on the road for December. So you kind of get used to it. And at the end of the day, it's 14 home and 14 away. So it all evens out at the end. And you know, we're on the road in December, but we're at home in January. So yeah, all evens out.
No Christian Doolittle. Todd Withers has joined the team. Talk to me about how great he's been.
He's been fantastic, and you know, it's kind of a luxury. You know, we've had a few imports out. BC was obviously injured. Dylan's been in and out just a little bit. So to have Toddy and the type of player he is and the caliber of player he is, just sitting there ready to go if someone gets injured, is a huge bonus. He's been great, and I expect him to be great again today.
Brings so much wisdom and experience to the table as Jesse Wagstaff. He's seen it all in the NBL. There's not much that he hasn't encountered, be it road stretches or the incendiary form of Bryce Cotton at the moment. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot to like about what he brings to the table for this Perth team.
And he clinks when he walks because he's got all those championship rings. You can hear him coming a mile away.
The grown man in the room. Reckon he make a good coach one day, too.
Absolutely he will. So 7-point Cairns Taipans lead. Edwards gives it up. Armstrong, another 3-ball. 10 for Taran to start. This is a really promising burst from the Snakes.
You talk about from one year to the next. I love it when young guys come back and they added something to their game. His 3-ball makes him such a literally a triple threat right now. Before you had to worry about just his playmaking out of pick and roll situations. Now you got to worry about 3-balls, and he's shooting them off the dribble too, Drewy.
He is, and you know, the Perth Wildcats, they had that timeout, but I reckon they're perhaps get a little bit more focus to the intensity on the defensive end, because there's a lot of 3-balls being shot, which spreads the floor, but not a whole lot of them are being contested that hard.
Ariana Prather was in that timeout. What did John really have to say, Ariana?
Well, you guys hit the nail on the head. Taran Armstrong knocking down that 3. He told his team, we have to respect every single Taipans player on that 3-point line. He also would like for his team to pick up the ball a little bit earlier as soon as they cross half court, and they're going to need to start doing that very soon, because as Damon said, this game can get out of hand very quickly if you let the Taipans gain confidence.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ariana. Edwards going to the hoop is fouled.
And I love the way the ball is moving through hands. They're working a lot from the 3-point line, but they're swinging it, a little bit of penetration, the kick out, and it's really a count. So the receiver catches it, really only there for a count. Either there's a drive or they're kicking it on, and that puts enormous pressure on the defensive rotations.
I get it that we're not even a quarter into this game, but Perth's defense has been a talking point. Are you worried about it?
Well, I'm of the school that they cannot play defense.
Yes,
they're not good at it.
The what defense?
Who are we? I mean, who are we kidding? They are an offensive team. That's okay. Win how you need to win. Defense is not going to be how they win games because they don't have the personnel to do that. And Todd Withers teams one off. They got to make it a shootout, and they're doing it without Bryce because Cairns right now are focused on him. And in the meantime, somebody else got to step up and get this scoreboard ticking over.
That's a good point you make. Something has to exist for it to be a problem.
That's what I'm saying. You can't make a cat bark like a dog.
Well, I think you're being a little harsh on some of the Wildcats players. I think that they have some ability out there, and perhaps maybe their focus and intensity from time to time can be found wanting.
It's interesting to hear Bryce Cotton say to our own Lockie Reed on TV in Perth during the week. He thinks they'll be able to get it to where it needs to be. It might not be where it is now, that Perth defence, but he thinks by the time the real stuff rolls around at the end of the season, that they'll get it there.
It's not a switch, though, Drewy. It's not you can't decide, okay, it's playoff time, now let's get good at defense. No, this happens in the preseason. This happens early in the season. You can't, how many, there's 17 games in. This is who they are. Yeah. I've accepted it.
Well, their defense needs to improve, I think, if you're going to be a championship contender. They'll be thereabouts. I think they've got enough talent. And your defense looks a whole lot better when you've got a bloke down the other end dropping 40+ every game. That camouflages some of the problems you have on the defense because, like you say, your offense ticks over.
Christian Doolittle, hugely important to what they do at that end of the floor as well. With his versatility and strength. Oh, Pinder coming over the top. Couldn't get it to go, and Ty Webster was just as frustrated as he was.
Now, Keanu Pinder, as we look at this replay, good penetration by Ty. When Keanu is going downhill, he plays with such a violent aggression. He's going to get himself to the free throw line. You've got to go through him right now. If Bryce, remember it wasn't that long ago, Drew, that it was, Keanu had a 34-point game when Bryce was out. The guy can score. There's so much focus being on Bryce, you forget. And with Keanu's minutes kind of fluctuating so much, they got to make him a focal point right now as he gives away.
He was a fan favourite while he was here, Damon, and he's a fan favourite too. The code word is handle. Head to the Hungry Jack or the NBL app, hit the Hungry Jack's banner and into the code word. Head to your local Hungry Jack's store by 6 p.m. tomorrow to grab a free cheesy. Bryce Cotton still can't open his account. There is a lid on it for him.
Well, he's 0 for 3. Actually 0 for 4 now, but he's yet to take a three-point field goal and give a lot of credit to the Cairns Taipans. They're taking something away, and it's opened up those driving lanes. Fortunately for the Taipans, he's missed that action around the rim, but they're certainly not letting him shoot any threes.
I think it's Teacher watching him at the moment. Todd Withers has been shooting it well. It's been a great player to come in as a nominated replacement player. That was last touched by Pinder.
A lot of teams have employed this strategy of taking the ball out of Bryce's hands, making somebody else beat you. But if they don't have the other score, Dylan Windler isn't scoring, like he's hit a few. But Cairns Taipans right now executing it beautifully on the defensive end.
They're 60% from the field.
Red hot, 9 rebounds to 4 in the early going as well. Offensive foul against Edwards.
Hey, Rob Edwards, that's Jesse Wagstaff. They're one of the cagiest defenders the league has ever seen. And that offensive bump that is very popular these days, Drewy. You don't want to be bumping the wrong guy.
Jesse Wagstaff's first rodeo, that's for sure. So 27-16, minute and a half to go in the opening term. Hiram Harris underneath, he gets that to go.
And I love that Bryce has the patience, Drewy, to let the ball do the moving. He don't have to force anything and try to beat a double team. He trusts his teammates.
Teacher tees one up, long rebound. Cotton will scurry after that. Wagstaff. He fires, can't hit. Cotton found himself on the hardwood. Jesse down the lane.
And you see what they did there? When Bryce came off, they're just sending double. They're sending 2 guys to him, and that left Wags wide open. But they're happy to live with that if it's going to take away Bryce Cotton 3-ball.
Perth averaging 96 points a game, and Bryce is averaging 43 of them. So if you just do the math and keep Bryce to around a pedestrian 20.
Well, it sounds good in theory, but we all know that there is a lot of talent on this Wildcats roster that can step up.
Harris called for the foul. Heard. So the Snakes are in the bonus. Kyle Adden is going to go to the line. In fact, it's going to be Kyron Galloway.
There's always a quarter out of the 4 when Cairns play that they just get on top of you. We saw them do it against the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, where they fought back from a deficit to take like an 8-point lead going into the 4th quarter, and then they let it slip. And this is the first quarter right here, and clearly missing that guy right there. Sam Wardenberg's been in the trenches for the majority of the season. But this is that quarter right now, Drew. They got a nice 10-point lead.
Yeah, this season, Cairns, because the way they play, shooting as quick as they do, they always give your opponent a chance. And puts a lot of pressure on their offense as Bryce Cotton works his way again to the rim. And this time he's got to the free throw line to try and get his first buckets. But they seem like Cairns got the one pace, and they're going to play at that pace. And if they continue to hit shots, they'll be okay. But fatigue gets them. They're averaging across the season 46 points in the first half, which is really good. That is high. But in second halves, they're only averaging 36 points. So fatigue, I think, is part of that factor.
They haven't won a final quarter in this. They've only won one final quarter in this losing streak. They've lost 10 in a row. Those fade-outs have been really noticeable. Galloway can't get it to go. Harris pulls down the rebound. A couple of seconds difference between the shot and the game clock. Bryce Cotton on the board, only has 2 points if you're just joining us. 0 of 4 from the field. The Snakes have done a terrific job on him in the early going.
Come doubling right now, Kyle. Just come get him.
He comes downhill here and gets what he wants.
Why would you just let... Kyle was worried about leaving Benny Hitchell like...
I think Adam Ford agrees with the way in which he smacked the coach's board against his head.
Frustration from Adam Ford, and a good final, a good end to the opening term from the Wildcats. But it was all the Snakes in that quarter. They lead by 6 at quarter time, 28-22.
Will be the Taipans ball to start the second quarter.
Six-point quarter-time lead to the Cairns Taipans, 28-22. Both teams making the Mitsubishi threes work for them in the opening term. The Snakes 5 of 11. The Wildcats 3 of 7 from downtown. Bryce Cotton with a late basket in that opening term. He's got 4 points coming off A 3-game average of 49.3, and it's Taryn Armstrong who's got 11 to lead all scorers. Joel Peterson, Damon Lowry, and Andrew Gaze with you on commentary. Ariana Prather is courtside. Ariana, what did Adam Ford have to say at quarter time?
Well, he was very pleased with the way his team was able to contain Bryce Cotton in that first quarter. And he said the two keys to this quarter are going to be rebound the ball and make sure they pay attention to the clock and slow them down. Perth getting some easy looks offensively very quickly. Now, guys, I have a question for you. I spoke to Adam Ford, and he said he recruited for the three-point line 1 through 5 earlier this season. As we said, Pedro Bradshaw knocked that down right there. They're shooting over 45% from the three-point line. I mean, how do you guard that 1 through 5?
You got to be switched on for a start. You can't be over-helping as we see Dylan Windler tee off another one. But you can see what Perth are doing now, Ariana. They're doubling the post, and it's not even on the block. They're doubling mid-post. They're putting themselves in rotations, and all the guys on the Cairns Taipans, they're just hovering around the three-point line, and they don't need no invitation.
Bradshaw baseline, tosses that one away.
Yeah, it's a hit or miss situation, though. We've seen the Cairns Taipans come out and have those quarters where they can score heavy, but the ability to sustain that from the three-point line over the course of the season it's not easy.
Windler throws it up for Pinder. Galloway had really good position down low. He's a strong unit, Corin Galloway. Keanu Pinder couldn't move him off the spot.
Hang on a minute. Sorry, Joe. Where's Bryce?
He's sitting on the bench.
What?
Getting a breather.
What?
Seen a lot of that recently. Windler from outside. Almanza gets a little push in the back of Groves.
And I think if you're the Perth Wildcats, with Pepper, Windler on there with Bryce really helps because you can spread the floor because they can shoot the three-ball, and any of that kamikaze double team that you see from the Cairns Taipans, you're going to expose shooters that can knock it down.
Thank you.
So given their strategy, try and find ways to help Bryce. Surrounding him with shooters is a good option if he's going to force double teams.
I don't think sitting on the bench for longer than 45 seconds helps Bryce.
He won't be there for long.
Okay. I got an issue, though, with Perth double teaming so far off the block like that. They are putting themselves in long rotations. Tanner Grove, I'm going to trust Keanu Pinder to defend Tanner Groves 15 feet from the basket.
Pepper Withers, Pinder, Henschel, and Windler. 5 at the moment for Perth. Windler wasn't totally pleased with the call.
Well, Edwards got to be careful because with the throw, watch he snap his head back. He sees flopping his head around. Now, if you don't have the throw, it's not as you can't see it as much.
Didn't give it away when he had the cornrows.
It looks so exaggerated when he's doing it now that you run the risk of being called for what it is, and that is an exaggeration of the contact.
A little bit of mayonnaise, whole egg variety.
But like, come on, refs, you can't get sucked into that. They've been doing that kind of stuff, you know, for years. They got to just be better. What?
Popular look at the throw tonight. Almanza, Pinder, Rob Edwards, of course. I don't know, does Ty Webster qualify in the throw stakes?
Ty done it before. He's got to cut it a little bit low now.
Certainly can. 7-point ball game. Henschel leaning in, no good. Edwards is away to the races. Look at Rob go!
Lovely in transition. Great use of the handle. The left hand is inside out in transition is nice. Here comes Bryce. 2 minutes on the bench to start the quarter.
Pepper, long two. Got it.
There's not a whole lot of sophistication about what either team's doing right now. It's bring it down there, 1 or 2 passes, not a lot of cutting, and just let it fly.
6 of 15 from outside the Snakes, 4 of 9 the Wildcats. Henschel trying to carve his way through that Taipans defense. Pinder recycles it, gets it to go. He'll go to the line to add 1 more.
The little things, offensive rebounds, and once again, Keanu going downhill. And Tanner Groves, he tried to use the principal laws of verticality. Didn't quite work. Refs whistled him for that foul.
Just a couple early in the game to Keanu Pinder, of course, two-time most improved player with the Taipans. Really put his name up in lights before he returned home to Western Australia to play for the Wildcats. He's one of the premier players in the competition when he's at his very best.
We decided to have a look at some zone defense here. It's of the 2-3 variety.
And it's hit or miss because they're going to give up some wide open threes in it. Is that a concede, Drew, when you go to a 2-3 zone? Is that just acknowledging?
Sometimes. It's not like you're trying to confuse them or disrupt, because there hasn't been a whole lot to disrupt. It's just come down. You know what they're doing. I think they're just trying to protect the paint. You can sometimes be a little more exposed from the three-point line in the zone.
Strong making his move. Bradshaw fires. He connects. A 7th three-pointer goes down for the Taipans.
I'm a big fan of Pedro Bradshaw. I know he's only averaging the 10 points on the season. He's missed a few games this year as well. But offensive foul call. But Pedro Bradshaw is that kind of in-between glue guys. We look at the Amy replay right here. And this is good playmaking by Taron Armstrong. They tried to create nothing that wasn't there, made the easy pass. Pedro rewards him.
Not sure they were in a zone there, but Withers got screened way too easy. When you know the team's just letting it fly from the three-point line, you've got to be more acutely aware and position yourself to be able to cover it.
So 37-30, it's been a really good start here for the Cairns Taipans at the Tangerine timeout. Let's have a look at what they've been doing to Bryce Cotton, who's had a tough time of it so far this evening.
Well, to me, he needs to do more work off the ball, because when he's got the ball, they're sending that time 3 people at him. And off the ball movement like that, I think, is going to be the key. They need to work for him. Set some screens, have him coming off more screens, not having him do that with the ball. Because they're going to double team every time, where it's a lot harder to do when you're getting your action off the ball, coming off screens.
I agree with you, Drew. I mean, how many scoring titles have we combined for? Listen to us when we're talking to you. Team set screens for me and Drewy. Got us open.
Well, you do. If you get a score like Bryce, you can do it in so many different ways, but it's just how the Cairns Taipans are playing him right now. So you recognize it. Okay, what are our sets that we can run for Bryce, where he's coming off some screens and getting the ball, getting his touches that way?
How about Chris Golden when he comes off screens and they overcommit, and then you slip into the basket, other guys get easy layups?
It's a good example.
And Larry and Andrew Gaze, experts this evening. NBL champions to both of them, 7 MVPs between them as well. 37-30 the way of Cairns. Bryce Cotton stepping back. It's a little bit strong. Windler just rips it down. Out to Pinder. Making his titcher over the top. And it's going back with Cairns.
At some point, Bryce doesn't, even though he's unselfish and he trusts his teammates, he's not going to just not take shots he normally takes. As soon as as soon as you see him going to his bag, he drills that thing 3 or 4 times, you got to send a double.
Groves straight away. He's already got a couple to his name. He almost poked the rebound away from Withers as well. Webster in the open floor.
I agree with you, Damon, but that last 3 by Bryce, if they're the types of threes he's going to take, then you live with that. Because that was a tough 3 ball. And we know he can make them.
Certainly been going down recently. Nice move from Groves.
Do not let the smooth taste fool you about Tanner Groves. He can score from a lot of places.
Started the season so promisingly for the Taipans. 19 points in that first game over at Hoops Fest. And then And he got injured in that round 3 game against Tassie. Just a number of appearances with that calf injury. Had 19 against Tassie first game around 11. So just rounding into some form again for this Cairns team. Webster, nice take underneath. A drop off to Pinder. Had to go double clutch in the end. And just couldn't finish.
It was good, Helen. He was Armstrong who come from behind. He got a piece of the ball. Oh, that's great. Oh, my goodness.
I swear it feels like Taron Armstrong sometimes like he's just on the playground. Just playing pick-up ball on the playground, getting in transition. Gets easy layups as we see Bryce. This is just too easy, Drew.
He never looks like he's in a rush. Now, Keanu Pinder was sort of there, but then Bryce has got to do a better job of keeping him in front, but Keanu almost just letting go.
It looked like Bryce was trying to ice a ball, a ball screen, and Keanu wasn't in the right spot, if that, in fact, was the call.
They've countered this. Originally, it was ruled from the side. The officials come together, had a chin wag about it, and then decided to say, no, the bucket counted. It did appear as though he had gathered the ball. So
Ross
once
Cotton
you
was
gather
doing
the
his
ball,
best to get in that conversation as well.
Might be a scoreboard issue or a score issue.
Just trying to count that basket. Referees were chatting it over. Bryce Cotton was standing right there with them. Just
anything, but there's a pattern forming right now.
Keanu Pinder. Pinder, sorry, Keanu. Keanu's played 9 minutes, and he is 2 for 5. Now, again, he's trending, Drew, to one of those 22-minute kind of games. Again, I'm just perplexed by this.
Well, I think he's coming off a spell, so maybe they want to be cautious.
Armstrong curling his way to the cup. So crafty.
And this is on Ty Webster, who plays strong physical D. But Taron Armstrong is equally as strong. You can see his definition in the guns. He's got the size, and he's got the commitment to score the ball.
Laces free throw. If Keanu Pinder was a racehorse, Drew, I don't think he'd be back in first up.
Well,
he wants a couple of runs into the preparation. Starting with the 1,000, build him up.
Oh, my God.
Oh, wow.
Did they not realise he's 6 or 7 before that one, and they all left him from a metre out from the basket?
It's not a problem if it doesn't exist. Taron Armstrong has got 18 points. Ty Webster, always vocal, was pretty keen to see that go back with Perth.
Did they literally dare Taron to shoot that?
If you look at the top of your screen, Adam Ford with Alex Higgins-Titchen is now just gone straight to the video to coach him on a defensive play, I suspect.
Bryce Cotton scything his way through. Gets the step and gets the finish. He's up to 9 points on 3 of 8 shooting. Still the Taipans who lead by 7. And have a look at this. Taron Armstrong just waits, doesn't see a lot of defense, and pops it in.
That was like Harlem Globetrotter stuff. I got a bucket here. You think it's water, but it's really confetti.
So 46-39, Cairns up at the Tangerine timeout. Massive game coming tomorrow. 2 teams that need a win in Throwdown 27 at John Cain Arena.
He won't be there.
He won't be there, but plenty of fans will, and plenty of excitement will be there, Drewy, and really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, can't wait. It's a team that Southeast Melbourne Phoenix had a bit of a setback against, well, let's face it, a white-hot Brisbane Bullets right now. So they'll be looking to bounce back. They've given the league a head start with starting the season 0-5, and these are the sort of games where they did beat them early on in the season. So
Sam McKinnon coached them to the throwdown win.
And it just now a wounded Melbourne United. They've dropped a couple.
When was the last time they lost 3 in a row?
Well, they hadn't lost 2 in a row in about a season and a half. So Dean Vickerman will be fighting his way back tomorrow. Of course, that's the first of 2 on your Sunday afternoon. Sydney and Brisbane, which is an intriguing clash. The Kings' first game for the round, and the Bullets are red hot at the moment. So they're the 2 Sunday games as part of our doubleheader. Earlier tonight, Adelaide got it done easily over the free-falling New Zealand Breakers. Dylan Windler can't believe the call and clearly doesn't have the finger waggle privileges.
Let's have a look.
Or maybe he does.
Oh, I don't know.
It's close.
I think they've reviewed Dylan Windler's review rights here.
I don't know. That from that angle I don't think it was conclusive whether that was an incorrect call. Groves certainly had a hand in there.
So a timeout, whether it's going to be a challenge or not, remains to be seen. 46-39. Well, it's either a challenge or they didn't talk quite enough about 30 seconds ago, so they need to have another little chat.
Sure, it's a challenge, isn't it? Let's have a look.
Oh, that is just...
Was it?
Does it come off that hand of Windler again?
I don't know how you overturn it. It is tight.
Both of these coaches chatting to their teams at the Tangerine timeout. 3 minutes and 3 remaining. Joel Peterson, Andrew Gaze, Damon Lowry and Ariana Prather with you. Second leg of a Saturday night doubleheader in round 12 in the Hungry Jacks NBL. As we tick ever closer to Christmas and an absolute frenzy of basketball coming up over the next month or so. Got absolutely loaded. Of course, the summer shootout just around the corner as well, which is going to be a really exciting prospect through the month of January. This NBL season is heating up at a rapid rate of knots. So no challenge in the end. Just a quick timeout to talk about things between these 2 teams. We're back underway. Armstrong, Edwards, Galloway, Groves, Bradshaw, the 5 for the Taipans. Windler, Henschel, Cotton, Harris, Wagstaff. It's Hiram Harris for the Wildcats. Edwards forces his way underneath and scores.
That's just a committed score. Because Dylan Windler didn't do a whole lot wrong.
Just at the end.
Just
gave him that
end.
baseline and running around him. And that's where you need a little... I think you need a little help.
Okay, Drew.
There's that's a beautiful execution. When they're overplaying Bryce, backdoor cuts. That's the way to keep that scoreboard ticking over for Bryce. And again, it's that off-ball action.
2.5 minutes remaining in this second period. Bradshaw can't score, but he will go to the line. Let's check in with Ariana. What did John Ridley have to say at that last timeout, Ariana?
Well, he told his team on defense they need to be way more active. He believes after the Taipans' first action, they're kind of falling asleep on the defensive end. So he said, stay more active on defense. And then on the offensive end, he said it 3 times in a row. Punch, punch, punch. He doesn't want any outside shots. He wants them to be aggressive, attacking the basket, as we saw Bryce Cotton with that easy layup there.
I'll be more likely to do some punching to some guts and sternums for poor defense.
Just going to start punching your players, eh? It's an interesting coaching method. Here's Wagstaff outside, cashes that one in. He's been doing that for a long time, Jesse Wagstaff.
Assist Cotton, both with the pass and the double team that he drew.
Good pass.
Edwards with a good shot.
Terran Armstrong is playing a beautiful point guard playmaking game right now. He's getting his layups. He's getting his teammates involved. He's got Rob Edwards with 3s. He's getting Pedro 3s. This is the kind of game I like to see from young Terran.
18-3-3. Cotton is fouled.
And Drew, Kyrie Galloway is late on these double teams. If you let Bryce turn the corner, he's clever enough to draw fouls, and he's going to get himself to the stripe. And you just watch, he starts feeling comfortable. Next thing you know, he'll have 14 free throws.
Yeah, he split the gap and didn't really need to reach in. Oh, that's in recent times been unusual for Bryce. 88% from the free throw line this season.
He was 16 of 16 last time out.
Actually, that's a little below. He's 85% across his career.
How come teams can't press on the free throw and go back to a man? Well, they still got the steal. They went back to a zone, still got a steal, but you don't have to default to a zone just because you're pressing.
Cotton comes away with it, gets another call.
Here we go.
He's walking back to the free throw line with some intent. Mucking around. He's Cotton, the only Wildcat in double figures with 12. Dylan Windler has 9, all of those on 3 balls. Taron Armstrong's got 18, 3 and 3. Rob Edwards has 13.
But you know, that last foul, if he hadn't been averaging 49 points in the last 3 games, I don't know whether you get that call.
Ticky-tacky?
It's a foul, but it's one of those ones that not everyone's getting that call that Bryce Cole just got.
He has the respect of the officials.
And that he does. He's up to 14, 4 of 9 from the field. Windler comes away with the steal, tosses it into the open floor, and Cotton is there.
Perth Wildcats, that was a 1-3-1 zone, and I don't know how many teams have a 1-3-1 zone play, but look at this. Call it what you want. Bryce is sitting there in the middle, and he's going to pass it around and shoot threes against people.
And that's where you're most exposed in a 1-3-1, because you've only got that one guy that's got to cover from the corner to corner. It's tough.
Fair play to the Taipans for taking advantage of it. 6-point ball game. Wagstaff rolls to the hoop. Left hand finish from Jesse.
Wiley vet. Kyron Galloway's got to be way better than that.
Four-point ball game. 11 seconds shot and game clock. Edwards slipping over on the way through the key.
And Dylan Windler just slipped over as well. Now this could be challenged.
It's tough because there is I don't think it's a foul.
Definitely not a foul.
It's not a foul, but there is a little bit of contact. So every time you review those, where you go, well, if we had our time over here, you wouldn't call a foul, but there's a technical element to it that they never seem to overrule.
Does the referee not see a guy clearly slip? Like, we all see him
No, he
slip.
did slip, but there was that, I want to call it almost incidental contact that took place before it, so that's what he's going to get for the foul. Now, I don't think it should have been called a foul, but I'm just saying if you review that, they'll pick up on that.
To justify a bad call, is what you're saying?
Well, they're your words.
56-51. This Cairns Taipans team has lost 11 in a row. They have not scored 100 points since round 3. They've got 57
That's
at the half. Not even at the half, I should say. So 22 seconds remaining. 59, their highest scoring first half of the year. The Snakes, and won't surprise you to know, Perth have given up more than this in the first half this season.
If I'm Bryce, I don't want to screen here.
No way.
Because that's just going to bring a double team.
Guarded by the West Australian, Jonah Antonio gets to the elbow. No jump shot there for Bryce Cotton. Higgins-Titcher pulls it down. Windler takes it away, puts it up and in. Dylan Windler is fouled as well. He beats the halftime buzzer. He can go and add the bonus and make it a 3-point game.
Gee.
Heads up play by Dylan Windler.
He didn't need to pass that.
Yeah, we have time.
Third offensive rebound of the game, up to 11 points. Just trying to sort out whether there's some time on the clock here.
And these are the little things that will drive Adam Ford crazy. You got yourself a lead. You're getting ready to go into the half with a tiny bit of momentum. And a breakdown like this after you have the rebound and compounded by a foul. So you're going to go into halftime with a 3-point lead. They feel like it should be bigger, Drew.
Okay, here we go.
I agree.
It's been as many as 11. Perth hasn't led in the ball game. And we've got 0.7 left on the clock after Windler makes it a 3-point game. And Perth take a little bit of impetus into the halftime break. They close with 9 of the final 11 points of the quarter. And at halftime, it is the Cairns Taipans who cling on to a narrow lead, 57-54, their second highest scoring half of the season. Taran Armstrong's got 18 points in that first half. He's with Ariana Prather.
That's right, 18 points in that first half. Taran, how'd you make it look so easy?
Yeah, I don't really know. You know, we're playing a good style of basketball, playing fast, playing with good pace, and the ball's moving, so I've just been lucky to get on the end of a couple of things.
You guys were able to contain Bryce Cotton in that first quarter. He started getting loose in the second. The team was able to chip down on the lead. How do you guys make sure you win the second half?
Yeah, he gets to the line. He does a really good job of doing that, and we did a really good job in the first quarter, but yeah, it was only a matter of time, but you know, we got to go back over the game plan and, you know, try to repeat what we did in the first quarter.
Well, good luck in the second.
Thank you, appreciate it.
That's right, Taran Armstrong has been terrific. 18 points in that first half. It is the Taipans, lost 11 in a row, but they are beating the playoff-bound Perth Wildcats at the moment. 57-54. We'll break it all down after this.
It is a bit weird. I remember the first time we
played in Cairns. It was a weird feeling sitting on the other side of the arena because those fans, they really loved me too. So it was a bit weird, but it was always going to be love between me and 40 and the Taipans fans, man, because they were there when I wasn't the best, but ended up making my way up. It's good.
Well, he endeared himself to the fans when he was here as a Taipan, Keanu Pinder. He's endeared himself tonight because he's back in town and he gave away burgers. It's the Taipans who lead by 3 at halftime. 57-54. Joel Peterson, Damon Lowry and Andrew Gaze with you at the half. It's been an intriguing clash so far. The Snakes, we know, have lost 11 in a row. They came into this with a bit of a point to prove. They've done a good job.
They have. They put themselves in a position, once again, to at least lead going into the half. Now, they always kind of give the game away at some point, but right now they had a clear strategy on how to limit Bryce Cotton. Did a great job in the first quarter. Let it slip in the second quarter. Let them get to the free throw line a little bit too much, but they're still in a good spot because they are winning.
And Taron Armstrong's been the key to it all so far, Gazy. 18 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and he has had it all his own way.
He has, and it looks like he's still in first gear. He never looks like he's really stressed out the floor, and that's a sign of a great player. He is certainly going as hard as he possibly can, but the game's coming so easy to him right now. He's knocking down shots. Only missed 1 field goal attempt in that 18-point outing. And the 3-ball, when that's dropping, it opens up plays like that where he can get to the rim. So he is a super talent. The Cairns Taipans certainly should be appreciating him. And how on earth, at that stage, when I think he had 14 points or something at that stage, when you're a metre from the basket, you'd be running away from him. But have a look at the Blackmore's shot chart, and that's generally what you see these days. Points in the paint, getting to the rim, and the 3-ball, green all over the joint, and 7 of 8 from the field. And that one that he missed, he probably should have made as well, and 2 of 3 from the free throw line. So a very impressive first half for the Cairns Taipans and Taron Armstrong. But can they keep it going? Because the last few games, in fact, the last 11 games, suggest that it's been a challenge in the second half.
Yeah, it has been a real problem for them, these fade-outs. They've done a good job on Bryce Cotton so far. So his games coming into this, we know 49.3 points over his last 3. He had 49 points last time out. His average went down in that 3-game period. And so far, all the focus was going to be on Damon. There's been plenty of focus from the Snakes, and they've done well.
As it should be. I mean, the guy's coming in, he's hotter than the surface of the sun. But you have to have a game plan. You have to have the discipline. And you know what you have to have? The fitness to be able to stick with it. Okay, it worked early. They kept him off the foul line. They took the ball out of his hands, made everybody else try to beat him. Then in the second quarter, a few breakdowns. Kyron Galloway not double-teaming early enough. Tanner Groves got caught out fouling. Some silly fouls while they're in the bonus. Now Bryce gets himself to the stripe, and we all know, Drury and myself, that when you're going to put up big numbers, you're going to need some free throws to kind of help you out.
No, it is, and they've done a really good job of keeping him off the 3-point line in the last 3 games when he's been averaging 49 points in 3 games. You saw the 3-point numbers. He has been incredible. They have taken that away, but in that second quarter, he's that good, he'll find another way to beat you, and he's been able to get to the rim, work his way to the free throw line, and still, what's he got at the halftime break,
16.
Joel? He's still got the 16 points, which is super impressive.
Your memory's very good, and I bet you do know as the taco fall of Win TV Ballarat. I bet you do. Hey, tomorrow afternoon, a big doubleheader coming your way. South East Melbourne Phoenix and Melbourne United is the first game at John Cain Arena. The throwdown is always action-packed. And then tomorrow in the late game, Sydney and Brisbane, which all of a sudden is very tasty.
Yeah, all you people out there sleeping on the Brisbane Bullets, you better wake up.
They've done plenty of work trying to get people to wake up in the last little while. That is Sunday, second half in Cairns coming up next. It is the home team that leads by 3.
Keep an eye out, make some noise. Jeffrey's Bakehouse. Mid Cupcakes. Come.
you covered this Christmas with a book of 5 movie vouchers, just $65. I quickly worked that out. $13 movie tickets. See the latest releases included Red 1, Wicked, Moana 2, or Gladiator 2. Members, make sure you RSVP to our members movie night at Event Cinemas on December 18th. See Mufasa with the players. Oh, your Taipans will send out a huge happy birthday shout out to Jennifer, Eden, Bernie, Barbara, Danny, Mike, Jeffrey, Hayden, Gabriel, Emma, Debbie F. Saxon, Peter, Robin, and Lauren. Happy birthdays. You guys had a fantastic birthday. All right, having a fantastic birthday. And not to forget Paul, Debbie K, and Katie. Hope I pronounced that correctly. Happy birthday.
Half-time in Cairns, 57-54 to the home team, and it is all sunshine and rainbows in far north Queensland at the moment as far as the Taipans are concerned. Losers of their past 11, and they are right in this one at half-time and ahead by 3, 57-54. Joel Peterson, Damon Lowry, Andrew Gage with you in commentary. The Emmy Award-winning Ariana Prather is courtside with us this evening. Ariana, it's been a terrific contest so far and a really nice response from Cairns.
Well, I said it pregame, guys. I said if you look at this game on paper, it might look easy, but it's absolutely going to be a dogfight. And I think it all starts with the Perth Wildcats. If they're not able to contain that three-point line from the Taipans, they will win the ball game. And on the opposite end, if the Taipans are not able to contain Bryce Cotton and they don't make it a little bit harder for him, they will win the ball game. So we'll see what happens in the second half.
From what you've seen of Adam Ford this season, Ariana, fair to say that a dogfight is his favourite kind of fight?
Absolutely, and talking to him pre-game, he was not talking like a coach who's in the last place in the NBL. He was all smiles, he was super energetic, and he was ready for this game because he knows his team is going to want to go to war. They live for this.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ariana. We'll check in with you throughout this second half that promises to be an intriguing one. You have a 10th and 4th on the table, but it's a much closer affair than that at the moment, and Bryce Cotton comes out and shows his stuff straight away in the second half.
Well, they're almost better letting him catch it on the three-point line, and it's got to be contested. But when they're trying to keep it out of his hands before he gets it, that's the third time that he's just beaten him on backdoor cuts.
But Jesse Wagstaff is just so good for Bryce. He's so creative, sets back picks for him as Rob Edwards connects from deep. But Jesse just has a great chemistry with Bryce and just knows how to get him open.
Damon, the Cairns Taipans have had 35 field goal attempts. 22 of them have come from the three-point line. Now, we usually see teams around the 50% mark. These guys are just continuing to let it rip from the three-point line. And when you're 10 of 22 at 45%, why wouldn't you?
Recipe for success so far for the Snakes, 9 turnovers to 4.
Who does a shootout favor? I mean, because that's when Bryce goes nuclear, when it's just up and down, but Taron Armstrong was also, as he lets one go. Taron Armstrong, ladies and gentlemen. 3 for 3 from deep. Offensive package is expanded.
21 for Taron, nice move from Ben Henschel, who has been a little bit quiet tonight. 4 points on 2 of 5 for Henschel. Groves looking inside. Henschel takes it away. Looking inside for Almanza, can't connect with him.
He was a count too late. The play was on, just didn't get there quick enough.
Now Henschel comes up with it and dishes it off to Cotton. Good man to give it to.
See, sometimes Tanner Groves tries to come up and set a ball screen 40 feet from the basket. You bring your man up there with you and you get trapped. Still should have turned the ball over, though. Sorry, Joe.
All good. Perth haven't led in this game, Damon. 63-62. It's been the Snakes throughout. Last touched by the Taipans.
Now, these are the passages. It's only been 2 minutes and 15 seconds. This is when I need Taron Armstrong to go, okay, we've got 2 turnovers back-to-back. Let's get through some stuff. And who's got this guy right here with the ball? Let's make sure we're disciplined with our rules.
12 minutes to start this one for Jesse Wagstaff as Keanu Pindus just checked in for him.
Henschel is wide open. And for the first time tonight, Perth have the lead. And for the first time tonight, Adam Ford calls a timeout out of frustration with his team. 2-point Perth lead, 7:32 remaining in the third. And the Wildcats have jumped out of the blocks to start this third quarter. Adam Ford not pleased with what he is seeing at the Tangerine timeout.
We look right here. Dylan Windler comes up and sets the ball screen. Pedro, they double team the ball. Taron Armstrong's got to rotate. They are outnumbered. The floor is spread, it's spaced out beautifully. They got their shooter in the corner. You cannot defend the ball screen that way if you don't want to give up wide open threes.
Taron Armstrong needed to be hedging a lot earlier and stunting and making him think about that cross-court pass. He stayed at home on his man too long, and then the extra pass, that's a long, long way to rotate for someone to get to the corner.
He's got to take that reversal pass away and rotate.
Well, at least threaten it.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of hesitation on that pass, but that was just a too easy pass out of that double team. And if you're going to double team, you must have greater ball pressure. You're trying to get a deflection because you know that the quick ball movement is going to hurt you.
It goes to what you were saying earlier, Drewy, about getting shooters out there with Bryce Cotton on the floor to create those open spots for him. His gravity will draw some serious attention. Groves coming downhill, got fouled.
Full court pressing, full court trapping teams. It's feast or famine. Yeah, you might get a turnover, but as soon as they get out of there, this is what happens. I'm just going to call it right now, Drew, and say first team to 90. First team to score 90 points wins this game.
Well, that's not a good sign for the Cairns Taipans because they've been struggling to get there. They're only averaging 83 across the season. And despite that explosion for them offensively in the first half, they're only averaging 36 points per game in the second half.
They have scored 90 in each of their past 2 games, though, the Snakes, so they can put the points up on the board still, as we know this man can do. Cotton's got 22.
Here he comes.
Quietly accumulating. And all of a sudden, it starts to become not so quiet. It's a bit like a thunderstorm. You can see it brewing in the distance, and then it starts really rumbling and flashing with lightning. And you just take cover.
About to get dark.
Taron Armstrong inside. Almanza pulls it down, wants to push the pace. Windler from way downtown.
Whoa, Dylan Windler.
He's up to 15.
That's deep water, Drewy.
It is, and that's what he's capable of. I don't think we have not seen the best of him yet this season, but he has the capacity to be a game changer.
Tanner Groves inside, nice finish. John really spoken about wanting him to be a bit more aggressive on the offensive end. Just took the 5 shots last time out for the Wildcats. But his reputation, his ability is right up there, Dylan Windler, in terms of imports in this competition. Groves outside, splashes that in.
Good patience. because the pace of the game it's got a little ratty, and both teams can get a little ISO heavy. Terran Armstrong made a good decision, found Tanner Groves open from the three-point line. He's been shooting well.
Almanza gets a friendly roll. Armstrong, Edwards, Galloway, Groves, Bradshaw, the 5 for the Taipans. Windler, Almanza, Henschel, Cotton and Pinder, the 5 for the Wildcats. 9-8 Perth, 2-5 away this season. The Snakes are 2-6 at home, 3-12 overall, having lost 11 on the bounce. Edwards has it taken away by Cotton, who races up the floor and lays it in.
Wow. This one, the Taipans are at their worst. You can see the entire Perth defense all camped out watching Rob Edwards dribble the life out of the ball, and Bryce with his good hands got the steal. I'm looking at Terran Armstrong once again. Get your team into something.
Windler now with the takeaway. Oh, great block by Galloway on Pinder.
Oh, my God.
Oh, and Almanza's almost walked there. That was very close to another turnover. Cotton's got 24. Sizes up Bradshaw. Steps back. A little bit short. Armstrong comes back the other way. He jacks the 3 and connects. Terran Armstrong with the 3 ball. He has got 24. Ariana, what are you seeing with this Taipans offense?
Well, I think the reason why Perth has been able to claw their way back into this game and the Taipans have slowed down a little bit on offense is they're losing sight of what they did to be so successful in that first quarter. A lot of teams can feel like, oh, I have to play that one-on-one basketball. People feeling like they need to take 1,000 dribbles, like Damon said. In order to score, they just need to calm down, move the ball, attack the lanes, drive and kick, do everything they did successfully in that first quarter to regain this lead.
It is so hard for teams. I can see, look at this. This is just easy transition. Defense is complete. I don't want to hear nobody say nothing else about Perth or Cairns in their defense. We're not going to see it. We might see it for moments, but it's so hard to get into half-court offense where you can just go around anybody so easy.
Damon, I think in this second half, though, a lot of the defensive problems Cairns are having is coming from their poor offense. They've had some ill-advised shots, and give credit after this halftime break. Perth have come out and lifted their defensive intensity. And sure, there's still been a couple of breakdowns, but they've got some steals. They've been able to get some easy transition baskets. And Kansas offense has put them into some very, very tough defensive situations.
3 turnovers already in this frame for the Taipans. Wildcats have got 24 points. 3 minutes remaining. Cotton stepping through. 2 more. 26 for Bryce.
Too easy. They ran that play beautifully. They ran it away from Jesse Wagstaff so he could be the one that could hit Bryce on that cut. I'll see what they're doing. And Cairns Taipans need to lock in and lock in quick because Bryce is on his way to another 40-piece.
Well, they've done what we suggested and what was the obvious action, and that is to get Bryce moving off the ball. And with Jesse Wagstaff in particular, his ability to pass the ball as Withers joins the party, and everyone's having a go at it now.
It is a lovely day for Todd Withers. 83-73, the Wildcats lead at the Tangerine timeout. 2:24 remaining. What a pickup he's been. Todd Withers coming into this team as an injury replacement player. No Christian Doolittle out there at the moment, but it is no problem for the Wildcats, who have already scored 29 points this quarter. Let's listen to John Riley.
Todd, BC, Henny, okay? Walk it up. Now, when they get down, they want to try and overload. So if you're slashing, be aggressive to take away the pass. Has to be over the top. Protect the rim. Protect the rim.
Don't come up, KP. Don't come up.
Hey, keep sharing the ball. Sharing the ball. Here we go. Hey, but after that, you take the 5. We're still ready and trained.
JP, can you name any other Todd Bill Withers songs?
No, I must admit I can't.
And well played.
I must admit I can't. You know I'm not strong in back catalogue action, that's for sure. A double-header tomorrow is going to be terrific. Southeast Melbourne and Sydney and Brisbane earlier tonight. Adelaide 111 defeated New Zealand 94. Kendrick Davis with 36 and 9. So his last 2 games he's had 73 and 19. And Montrezl Harrell reacquainting himself with 21, 10 and 5. And those woes continue for the New Zealand Breakers, who have slipped from second at the fever break to second last on the live ladder.
Based on what we've seen, it's kind of hard to figure out where their next win's coming from. Now, they've got enough talent that they can turn it around, but boy, they found the going tough.
They are in free fall. The Breakers. Pepper out there at the moment. Wagstaff, Withers, Cotton, Pinder. Elijah Pepper nestles that one in.
Jesse Wagstaff, he made all that happen. Faked the ball screen, the dribble handoff to Bryce, penetrates, hits Elijah Pepper for the bucket. Jesse is a playmaker tonight.
And Adam Ford has countered by going small. He's got a really small lineup on the floor, trying to spread the floor, and also I think just to be able to scramble perhaps a bit quicker on the defensive end.
Not too long ago we were tied at 70. And see there, it's been all Perth this quarter, 31 points to 16, 15 to 3.
I hate that play. There is no movement at all. It's 4 guys standing around just watching the ball carrier. Rob Edwards just a million dribbles and throws up a prayer.
Can't help but think that's got a lot to do with the fact that Taron Armstrong's on the bench.
Yeah, even when Taron was out there, sometimes it was still happening. This is what I'm talking about is Elijah Pepper. He's got scoring in his DNA.
The sniper from Shepparton.
It's starting to get a bit messy now for the Cairns Taipans. A taste of their own medicine with a trap.
Talked about those second half fade-outs, and they're coming home to roost at the moment for the Taipans. Oh, Higgins-Titcher goes upstairs. He gets denied. Pinder crashes to the hardwood.
Yeah, Keanu ain't having none of that foolishness. As we look at the Amy replay, and Keanu said, come on now.
Oh, might have been a foul.
Did he clip him?
Yeah, he did. All over the arm. And
Not that I can see.
a little unlucky.
100th career block for Keanu Pinder, providing a nice form of insurance at the rim on the Amy replay.
15-point lead after being down 3 at the half.
Cotton for 3.
Tanner Groves. You sitting back there in no man's land, and the hottest man on earth. Up to 29 points.
That's only his first made 3. 1 of 3. He's only taken 3 3-point field goal attempts. He's got 29.
Just incredible. Tanner Groves with 2 for the Taipans. Perth will have the last say in this third term. At quarter time, Bryce Cotton had 4 points. He has 29. He has 5 seconds to make something happen to 3/4 time. Cotton's got 31 as we head to the final term. This man is otherworldly. Do not go anywhere. He is capable of anything and everything. 18-point lead at 3/4 time. And the Bryce Show is in town in far north Queensland.
there they are. Jackson's Bakehouse Mini Squad. Proudly trained by Dan Stewart Excess. All right, Origami. So I'm up in the midsection, I'm going to call it. Fantastic. I've got a gentleman here who is smart enough to scan the QR code on the big screen. Thanks to Mick at NQ Forklifts. He's won himself $350. Let's give it up. This is Darren McCormick. And it's that easy, Orange Army. Anytime that QR code comes up, get your phone out, scan the QR code, enter your details. I might come up and visit you and give you $350. Thanks to Mick and the team at NQ Forklifts. NQ Forklifts is your voice forklift dealer, service agent and forklift hire provider. Based in Cairns, NQ Forklift service to Cairns, Boston, Appleton, and Tablelands, and Castle Coast regions, offering on-site.
Gun it up. Hope you get hot.
Three-quarter time in Cairns, and the Perth Wildcats put on a display in that quarter. 39 points, their highest scoring third quarter of the season. They can put up numbers with the best of them. And that shot there got Bryce Cotton to 31 as we turn for home, looking for his fourth straight 40-point game. Joel Peterson, Damon Lowry, Andrew Gaze, and Ariana Prather with you. Second leg of a Saturday night doubleheader. Great to have you with us in the Hungry Jacks NBL. And this Cairns Taipans team that had not been headed for the entire first half now trails by 18 with a quarter to go, staring down an 11-game losing streak and having not won a final quarter in their past 10.
And it's their own fault. Poor offensive execution. As Tanner Groves attacks the basket, gets himself to the line, but it's poor offensive execution, poor defensive execution. How dare you leave Jonah Antonio, with all due respect, on an island with Bryce Cotton when he's hotter than Lisa Lowry? How dare you?
I'm not familiar with Lisa, but
shout out to my beautiful wife.
Oh, right.
Yes. I was just letting that one slide.
I thought I was thinking of something. Of course.
I was just happy to let Damon own that moment.
No, that was a beautiful thing.
Actually, she's not hotter than me.
Anyway, now I'm going to be in the doghouse for not saying anything about the beautiful Melinda.
Yes, evening to Kez, watching at home. Elijah Pepper splashes in a three. Curran Galloway from outside. So a nice start offensively for the Cairns Taipans. What did Adam Ford have to say at three-quarter time, Ariana?
Well, he's telling his team that they just need to take it one play at a time, but reading the team's body language after Perth just scored there again, I'm not really liking it. I'm big on body language, and I feel like there's still so much time left in the ball game. Get a few stops and scores, and they will be right back into it. So hopefully they can turn it around.
So what are you seeing from them on that front on the body language perspective?
Well, I see some people jumping up on the end of the bench now after Tanner Groves just scored that. But before then, I'm just seeing a lot of shoulder slumps, head down. And, you know, there's still a lot of time left in the ball game. Let's pick up the energy. I want to see hands clapping. I want to see, you know, some pats on the backs. People getting hyped, getting excited for the challenge.
They got so many bad habits that have caused this long losing streak that once they see it again, they think, oh, here we go again. You should see Drew's body language in here, Ariana. Drew, what do you reckon the style of play Cairns should adapt? I mean, do they want to get into a shootout?
Well, that's what they're hoping that they can get hot. They've shown. Oh my God!
Somebody come and help Jonah.
33.
Oh my!
What? Come on, man.
That is special, but I think, and they've shown for quarters that they can come out. That first half was really impressive. Get to the rim, but even that one there, you see the bottom of the screen. There's still 14 seconds left on the shot clock. They almost need an Aaron Fern type approach to the way in which they play the game. That it's highly structured. Take the air out of the ball. You're looking at, unless something really easy is coming early on, then you're looking to score in that last 6 seconds. But when you're dealing with this, and see, that was just a non-existent show by Groves. I think you stay on it. If he comes off an on-ball, Groves, stay on it. Get the ball out of his hands. Yes, you might get beat in rotations, but you're getting beaten both ways right now. rather than just showing and retreating and trying to get back to your man. Blitz it, red, whatever terminology coaches use these days. Go ahead and do that and get it out of his hands.
101 for Perth.
There's a handful of players in the league that are unguardable one-on-one. Clearly, Bryce is one of them. So when he's out there hit-patting it at the top of the key, Tanner Groves lets one fly, misses. If he's doing, like, even now, you come down in transition, you got to know.
See, Tanner Groves is a big, yeah, he can shoot the three. That's great. He's had 13 field goal attempts. 8 of them have been three-pointers. He's made 3 of them, so not bad. But I don't know whether that's where you want your 5-man to be spending most of his time.
I agree. Down 20 with 7.5 to go. Now you got to play fast to try to get back in the game.
Been competitive in their last 4. The Snakes, the last 3, I should say, in 4 of their past 5, only lost by single figures. But this is looking like it is not going to stay that way. And the Perth Wildcats, with this man leading the charge and up to 36 points. He is narrowing in. The heat-seeking missile that is Bryce Cotton has got another 40-piece in its sights.
Pedro Bradshaw is not a short man. Bryce lulled him to sleep and just pulled right in his face. Nothing but cash.
That's incredible.
Get a hand up. You got to do your work early, Drewy. Like, you can't think maybe he won't shoot this one. He might shoot every one of them. He's hotter than.
What do you got this time?
Good Lord. I mean, I'm a fan. I'm here for it. Let Bryce go for 50, 50 for whatever. I mean, I love watching this offensive explosion, but I'm just perplexed with the way Cairns is approaching it on the defensive end.
Well, it's not just Cairns that have had to deal with this over the last few weeks, Damon. There's been a few.
He's been dishing it out.
He doesn't discriminate.
The Hawks, Breakers. Here he comes for 2 more. That one around and out. That was sort of the kind of thing he was seeing early in the game. Bryce Cotton, 21-point lead for Perth. Almost got the steal. Armstrong the dish and Galloway the flush.
Galloway's 4 or 5 for his 12 points. And I think sometimes probably doesn't get enough looks.
107 points for Perth. Pinder trying to put a lid on it up top and sees a bit of contact from Kyron Galloway. And he will head to the line, Keanu Pinder. Last 5 games for Perth on the offensive end. We'll take a look at the replay of this one. Contact there is just an awkward sort of landing for Keanu Pinder. So the last 5 games for Perth at the offensive end. 117, 123, 111, 115, 107. You do not want to face them in the summer shootout. It's your chance to win $100,000. Correctly predict the team that scores the most in the summer shootout through January. Each team's nominated an away game. You can scan the QR code on screen and enter now or head to nbl.com.au/shootout. And the Perth Wildcats, you would be a brave, brave team to have picked Perth in Perth.
I hope every team in that shootout takes it with all the disrespect it was intended for when teams called them out.
And on the 31st of January, the South East Melbourne Phoenix go to Perth. So that could be all kinds of fun.
You see another no-pass offense by the Cairns Taipans. You guys got to understand, this is when you are at your worst. And when is enough enough?
It's all falling apart here for the Taipans. And it was such a promising start for them as well.
Entire first half.
Yeah. Led the entire way. Wingler for Withers. Another 3-ball for Todd Withers.
Spectacular shooting from the 3-point line. 14 of 24. 58%.
$112 points for this Perth team. They are an absolute firework factory. Cotton for 3. A little bit strong.
Bryce Cotton is in that mode. You're more surprised if he misses than you do if it goes in, even on the tough ones.
I don't mind a quick shot after a stop. You're in transition, you get down like you the score, I don't mind it. But like, you got to take two possessions out in a normal situation when this run is happening. If they had an interior presence as Bryce gets an and one.
2 more, 38, 1 to come to make it 39.
Did anybody in the country even doubt that he would get? This is his favorite place to play.
Well, he's did it in a different way. Now, I know he's made a couple of threes in this second half, but he's so crafty and has got the basketball IQ of knowing where his defender is, that he gathers that ball to ensure that he's in that motion, that it's going to be an and one or he's going to the free throw line. And the timing of that is just an instinctive thing that a lot of shooters have, and that's why they get to the three-point line. Free throw line, excuse me.
And he's got the offensive fitness. Like, you know, if all these players is playing 25 minutes a game and coming out after 4 minutes saying they're gassed, Bryce Cotton is the most heavily defended, scouted player in the league. Yet he will play 38 minutes with you chasing him all over the place, and he's still fit enough at the end of the game to hit threes, get on the rim. Get your fitness levels up.
So 39 for Cotton, his highest score in this venue, looking to be the first player since 1991. The man sitting at the left of this desk, Andrew Gaze, to have 40 points or more in 4 straight games as Pinder is fouled underneath. 1991, 33 years, Damien.
Wow.
Haven't seen that long ago.
Who was guarding you?
I can't remember the game. I
can't remember who was coming.
We weren't so comprehensive with the statistical data back in those days.
Did you ever pick up at the scoreboard and go, I'm feeling kind of good tonight?
Well, when you've got 40, it's hard. You know things are going pretty good.
We have 2 guys. The scoreboard's wrong. We're in the bonus. We don't have anything foul.
So you can hear you there the little administrative error from the scoreboard.
All these are good minutes for Keanu Pinder. Like I said, he hasn't been averaging a lot of minutes this season. And this game is well and truly, this in the books. So it's good to see Keanu getting on, just get some extended minutes.
Tangerine timeout. Perth 115 to Cairns 90. 4 minutes 30 remaining. Perth have 115 and Bryce Cotton has 39. So the Wildcats offense continues to tick over in fine fettle. Match their performance from last time out. Only 8 points to go to match their season high.
I'm confident, though, Joe, that Cairns is going to beat somebody. It's got to come together for just one game this season. And there's something in me that I'm drawn to this train wreck that I can't look away from. Like, they can't lose every game from here on out. How many games do they have left? 29-game season.
Yep, so this is their 16th, so 13 after this. They're at Brisbane, a double at home for Melbourne and New Zealand. That's set over the Christmas period. At Illawarra, at Sydney, and Southeast Melbourne in their next 6. So
okay.
It's a tough little run for the Snakes. So 25-point lead to the Perth Wildcats, who've got 115 points on the board, and that man has 39, trying to become the first player in 33 years to score 40 or more in 4 straight matches.
And I love how John really recognizes, respects, and appreciates this offensive bag of dynamite he's got on his team. He's going to leave him out there. You got a 25-point lead with 4.5 to go.
Well, he's also acutely aware that he needs the 40.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Once he gets the 40,
then he goes, come sit down.
Bryce, well done, congratulations. Unless go get fitty.
Why not? Why not? So the 19th of May, 1991 was when Drewy had the 4th of those 40-point games, Damon. He had 44 in round 5 of that season against the Cannons, 45 against the Falcons, 43 against the Giants, and then 40 against the Rollers. So just scraped it in there.
Take it badly.
In that season.
So they called, I get it. So you called it, you got 22, they put up 5 scores for Tanner. So Tanner was on 5, so I've gone timeout, I'll challenge it, and now you're like, oh, it's a mistake, it's actually on
This is where the miscommunication is. The score table think it's on 22, but it's actually on 2.
But that's why I challenged it.
I understand.
Oh, mate, I know. This is, that's why I challenged it.
So he had a coach's challenge during the break. It was unsuccessful, and you can hear Adam Ford's point.
He's got a very good argument. But
so this is the play for the challenge. So the score bench thought it was on 22. He thought that Tanner Groves had fouled out. That was his 5th foul. The referees intended to call the foul on Rob Edwards.
so he would never have challenged that if he knew it was on Edwards. But because he thought it was on Groves, he thought, well, I'll roll the dice here, and otherwise...
That be a successful, unsuccessful.
The score bench was thinking 2 for 22, 22 for 2. Easy to get confused.
So I think Adam Ford, after all, that's got his timeout back. And that's why he's saying it's the first successful, unsuccessful challenge.
It was the score bench, according to Adam Ford, that made the error, because the official is saying that he indicated there was 2.
And you know what? That can happen, and I think it's been sorted out in a reasonable fashion, and we play on, which is a good way to go about it.
Not that having a challenge up his sleeve was going to mean anything anyway, unfortunately, at this stage of the game.
Down by 25, having led for the entire first half. Henschel gets the block on Edwards. Binder somehow kept control of that. Windler is wide open, had the whole state of Queensland to himself.
Sniper. Dylan Windler is a lefty sniper. He gets his feet set, that stroke is pure.
18 points for Dylan Windler. 5 of 8, as you see on your screen from downtown, for the man with NBA experience. Edwards no good. 5 of 17 for Rob Edwards. He's got 18 points on 17 shots. Higgins-Titcher, a little drop-off for Groves, was poked away. Cotton comes down the floor, gets inside and misses. The whole of the nation was riding on that one. Even some Cairns fans might have groaned in frustration.
I reckon Johnny really would have hoped he'd made it as well, so he could give him a spell.
34 minutes out of the 37 we played for Bryce Cotton. It's cruel for Higgins-Titcher. It just rolls off the side of the rim. Windler liking what he's seeing.
Put us out of our misery, Bryce.
Here he comes. 40 for Bryce Cotton. The first player in 33 years to have 4 games in a row of 40 or more. Do not take this for granted. He is taking the NBL to a higher place. He is on a different level. He's Bryce Cotton. 41. 44. Why not? Why not?
That is ridiculous.
What can't he do? 123 points for the Wildcats. 43 for Bryce.
So if you was born after 1991, you ain't never seen this before.
I have never seen this before done.
Oh, wow. Hey, and let me tell you, I can't remember what was going on back then. I can't remember what I did last week, but I know it wasn't this spectacular. This is just something really special by a class guy that's every part of the game he's showing. To the rim, mid-range, 3-ball, contested, off-the-ball action. He is showing the complete package, and it is an absolute thing of beauty to see a man this skilled at the absolute peak of his craft.
We know what this competition and what this game means to you, Drew, and to your family. When you see someone doing what Bryce Cotton is doing at the moment, the numbers there are absolutely incredible. 44 again tonight. What does it sort of spark in you?
Well, it's spectacular. I think that I don't even think you need to be a basketball fan to recognise the greatness of Bryce Cotton and what he's been able to do these last few games. And again, give a chunk of credit to John Riley as well in the way in which that he's provided the systems in place to allow this to happen. Particularly when what do you have at the end of the first? 4
points. And he scored the last, so he's made 2 free throws and then a 2-point bucket at the end of the opening quarter to get those 4 points. So through 9.5 minutes of the opening quarter, he hadn't scored. And he's got 43 and he's taking a rest. Absolutely incredible from Bryce Cotton. The man is on a different planet. He might be in a different solar system.
Yeah, he's not like us.
Makes you wonder how he had, what was it earlier on the season? Was it a 6-point game or how is that remotely possible?
Just incredible. Bradshaw inside. He's got the eyes of the basketball world on him at the moment as well too, Bryce Cotton. We know that much. Meanwhile, Perth are on track to get their highest 40-minute error score as Aquera gives them 126 points. Wow. Their highest score in the 40-minute era.
I've never seen the scoreboard tick over to 130. I can't.
It's happened a couple of times in 40-minute basketball.
Drew, Cairns were up at the half.
Yeah. No, it's just been a spifflication in this second half.
An evisceration.
That's right.
Every Asian in the nation.
That's it. Just spare a thought for Mark Arena, who's got to come up with a package to try and keep this man in the country.
Just quietly, Mark, we're all quite enjoying this, so don't do it anytime soon.
Do us a favour.
Hiram Harris gets inside 128.
Dig a little deeper.
132 points is the most in a 40-minute game by the Newcastle Falcons against the Wildcats back in '83. 128 for the Perth Wildcats.
Dante, do not pass this. Get it up.
What they are doing is historic. What their man is doing is historic. Rob Edwards takes it away and adds 2 more. Perth have got a month of games on the road. And it is a hell of a show if it's rolling into your town. The Wildcats win big, their highest score in the 40-minute era, and a historic night in so many ways. Bryce Cotton with 44 points, the first player in 33 years to have 4 games of 40 or more. His legacy grows ever greater. And what he can't do at this point probably isn't worth doing. 59, 49, 40, 44 in his last 4 games. Absolutely extraordinary. And the Wildcats have put up 128. They win by 36, and Ariana Prather is with the man of the moment.
Bryce, no one has done what we just saw you do tonight in 33 years. Score over 40 points in the last 4 games. What is going through your mind right now, putting on an absolute clinic?
Kind of like we talked about before the game, just staying in the moment, not making it bigger than what it is. And we got however many games on the road, so it's more important that we got the win.
The team scored 128 points, also making history, the most points you guys have put on the board in the 40-minute era. How proud are you of this team with multiple players in double figures?
Super proud. You know, I think we've come a long way since the start of the season, and a lot of the adversity that we've had to face, it's made us stronger, and we're coming together at the right time.
You guys still are going to stay on the road. What do you take from tonight to make sure you guys continue this success?
Well, for one, we got to make sure when we playing on the road, we create our own energy. I think Cairns did a good job jumping out on us at the start, but we covered up for it.
I think your team wants to celebrate with you. Good luck.
Gotta go.
So the next 6 on the road for the Wildcats. They don't play a home game in 43 days. And that man is the ringmaster of what is a beautiful road show. Bryce Cotton with 44, the Wildcats with 128. They win by 36. They move to 10-8 on the season. Another remarkable night of hoops with that man at the centre of it all. 44 for Cotton. We will break it all down on the other side of this. Don't go anywhere. Game in the West at RAC Arena should be very entertaining indeed. Cotton inside, nets it to go, and one. Cotton nestles that one in nicely.
He's got the eye. He's on fire.
Here he is again. Guarding Cotton in the place no one wants to be.